Hello and welcome to FTF.GG's coverage of the Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series FTF All-Star Race from the LA Coliseum. I'm Caleb Hoffman alongside Kevin McAdams and Sean Butler. And Kevin, tonight's a celebration of the best of FTF competition. What are we expecting out of these cars tonight?
I think we're expecting a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, but a lot of green flag racing as well. Only one caution tonight. We'll go over the format a little bit later once we go green here in a minute or so. But I think this is going to be an event that I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch. And I think when you give it to Sean as far as his opinion, I think it'll be a lot more fun to watch than race. I think these guys are going to be pretty frustrated by the end of the night.
Yeah, and Sean, I was going to lead into that as well. The format tonight differs from what we're used to in FTF on a week-to-week basis. How do you think that'll play into what we see tonight?
I really don't think anybody has any interest in racing clean tonight, personally. We'll go over this in a little bit, but 200 laps here at the LA Coliseum, one caution at the halfway mark of this race. and unlimited fast repairs. Those of you that have been on iRacing for a good bit, I'll let you do the math on how this race is going to go based on that. But it's going to be complete carnage, as Kevin said. I had the opportunity to race, and after doing like 30 laps, I'm like, I'm going to commentate this thing. So it'll be a lot less frustrating, as Kevin said. But should be a doozy to watch. So we're getting ready to grid this thing up, and these guys are very brave for taking on this race purposefully.
And as these guys get gridded up, we're going to take a look at our starting grid. As you see, Seth Noel on the pole alongside Nick Miller in the front row. Brandon Hawken alongside Michael Guest in row number 2. Omar Diallo starts next to Logan Helton in row 3. Chris Wetz and Wyatt Tinsley in row 4. And then rounding out your top 10, Michael P. Frisch and Ethan Corder.
We got Landon Mills in 11th, Aaron Brown in 12th, Brent Jones 13th. Alongside him, Dylan Kem making a start finally in FTF. He'll be in 14th. Scotty Smith and Art Reimer make up row number 8. Thomas Kohick and Philip McCandless make up row 9. And Robert Dorman and David Cabrera, the two best photographers in FTF right now, they start out in row number 10, Kevin.
Lane Tidwell will start in 21st. Brett Pancari, former winner in the GNS season last year, he rolls off in 22nd. Andy Margot, if we had a fan vote tonight, he would have very easily won that one. He will roll off 23rd. Jake Poulin, who I thought was going to do race control for this race, is actually racing. He's in 24th. And then there's two drivers that are on the starting grid that are not racing. Sean M. Butler, who has decided to join us here tonight, and Josh Stoltz, who has not come back after falling out of the server a few minutes ago. So I think we will have a 24-car field to start this race, Caleb.
Yeah, and as we wait for Nick Miller to get in here so we can start this race at the LA Coliseum, a very unique track here tonight. No banking. Kevin, how are we, kind of expecting that to play into things?
Well, I think, we saw it kind of a little bit when the Coke guys came here. We've probably seen our fair share of moon car races when this track first came out. The Clash itself in real life, you pretty much had to root someone out of the way to make a pass. And I think with the ramifications of, unlimited fast repairs, I kind of told the guys that, if you're over aggressive, if you're wrecking intentionally, you're out of here. So they know they have a looser leash tonight, but they can't just be out there wrecking everyone. I'm sure we'll see a lot of aggressiveness, but it's a long race, and I think people will realize that wrecking for 200 laps is not as fun as racing for 200 laps. So I think eventually we'll see this thing kind of clean up a little bit into the event, maybe 30 to 40 laps in.
Briefly, I just want to address the chat. Kevin King said, "Let's go, Sean," and then said, "Never mind." So I'm sorry to disappoint you, Kevin. I'm not racing tonight, but I will next time, I promise.
Sean, you took my next talking point, disappointing the fans here. But yeah, crazy race in store tonight. Pretty sure this is the shortest track that FTF's going to go to all year, considering it's the shortest track that I've ever seen. So we'll get around here to Seth Noel and Nick Miller leading us off to the green here.
Do we have any picks, gentlemen? Who are we picking tonight?
I'm not going to dabble into that. That just seems...
I think you should.
Too much of a risk.
What do you
I'm just going to pick someone really just obscure. I'm going to go with Dylan Kem in the 92, starting way back there. He's going to avoid everything and withstand the barrage of wrecks and win this thing.
Kevin, you got any vote?
No, I just wanted to see if Sean wanted to pick anybody.
Okay, he's just going to wait. He's going to eject him.
I'm forcing you to pick somebody right now.
I was going to pick, this is not a nice guy race, but I'm picking the nicest guy in FTF, the nicest guy in sim racing. His pace car is off. I'm picking Brandon Hawken tonight.
All right, picks are in. Green flags out from the LA Memorial Coliseum. And Seth Noel, a great launch down into turn 1.
Seth Noel already a 4 or 5 car length lead side by side pretty much through the rest of the field. Nick Miller on that second lane, not really the fastest way around, but you can play a defensive role, get that guy on the rumble strips, and he does just that, gets to the outside of Hawken, and he's going to be in second. First battle now for position, going to be for a top 5 spot. That's Omar and Logan Helton and Chris Wett. Bodies Logan Helton. They're 4 wide out of turn 4, but they all save it. Still green for right now, and
Wyatt Tinsley
dumps Tinsley.
And on lap 3 of 200, we already have cars in the wall, potential tempers, beef even. Gonna get around here as this field tries to get settled down maybe a bit. You see there's still double file these leaders. This top 5 really starting to get single filed out here. Sean, considering you were on the entry list until 5 minutes before the race started, if you're a driver right now, what's kind of your strategy at this point?
The only thing that I'm focusing on is avoiding all these wrecks at all costs, because if you got to keep your eyes peeled the entire time, try not to blink if possible. But if you got to be listening to your spotter, seeing where these wrecks are and know where to be at, because most of them are going to be on the exit of corners. And most of these guys, we had trouble on the front stretch already, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Let's see, who was that? That was someone on the front stretch, but they just towed. That was Brett Jones in the 089. Another one around. That's Robert Dorman in the Jonathan Oates backup car off of turn number 4. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So guys, just like
he's stuck there,
just parked off the corners, and you got to know where they are to keep that car clean, and that's going to be the name of the game here tonight.
Yeah, and such a short track, it feels like if one incident happens, it's almost like a stack-up effect that you're going to get throughout the rest of the field. So interesting to see how that plays tonight. Looks like right now, whoa, Michael P. Frisch, great save off turn 2. That car almost slid out from underneath him.
And you can see we're already navigating lap traffic. Andy Margot has gone a lap down. Wyatt Tinsley elected to take a pit stop after him and Chris Wetz were involved. Wetz also decided to come in. He is still in pit road now, 3 laps down. Robert Dorman also 3 laps down. We are looking back at our leader in Seth Knoll. He's going to be trying to lap Brett Pancari as they go into turn 3. And right now, the only real challenger for that lead spot is Brandon Hawken at 99. But like you said, things are already starting to single file out, and we already have another couple drivers on the pits. Chris Wetz has exited the pits, but Brett Jones is finally off and away, going into turn 1 out of the pits, multiple laps down.
Interesting here, lap 12 and the brake rotors on all of these cars, you can already see them starting to glow. How do you think these brakes are feeling, considering we have almost 200 laps to go?
Well, lucky for these guys, the brakes in iRacing don't really, get too effective by excessive usage. Maybe in the future they will, but you got to know when to brake, because there is a fine line with this car. It's been well documented that the brakes are pretty tricky in this next-gen car. And if you overshoot the corner by just like 1 or 2 feet, or miss your braking point by 1 or 2 feet, you're going to lock up and slide up to the wall. So these guys have to be cognizant of that. But right here is a prime example. Omar Diallo in that 6 car. He's in the wrong car number this week. He just slid under Michael Guest, who's a lap down. But that's what you got to do whenever you want to make a pass here, as we see Logan Helton back here trying to fight as well. But they are trying to make these slide jobs on these guys almost. And if you don't throw it into the corner and make the pass, you're going to be side by side for a good while potentially.
Yeah, and right now, Brandon Hawken pulled out to almost a second lead. And, that sounds like a lot. And then you look on this track and, with just how small it is, it really amplifies that just amount of time on this short racetrack.
Yeah, we actually did miss a lead change. Hawken did get around Seth a few laps ago, and he's already opened up that lead to a second. I think we'll see a lot of lead changes just because I feel like the lap traffic is almost equal in speed. If you look at, even Brett Jones, he's back on track. He's running 13.9s. Hawken ran a 13.82, so only about a tenth quicker than our leader. Lane Tidwell concedes his position. He's going to go a lap down. That only leaves now 15 cars on the lead lap, but Hawken is still pulling away. Dylan Kem is upset. I'm not sure what happened to him. He's near the inside wall. He's got a lot of damage on that inside car on the left side, so he definitely hit the inside wall or something. And Wyatt Tinsley is around again. He's going to go multiple laps down. He was only a lap down because he had to take that fast repair earlier with that excursion with Chris Wetz. Now he's 2, and he's going to go further down.
And looking around the track right now, not seeing many guys that are really tempted, except for Brandon Hawken trying to make his way through the lap traffic here. You're not really seeing many guys step out of line, just kind of riding around maybe to get to the end.
Battle for 6th.
You would think so, as they're trying to get as much spots as they can. But on the other side of the speedway, as Kevin said, the battle for 6th, Aaron Brown just got around Michael Frisch, and Frisch is looking to get by him again. It's tricky because you lose or make up all of your time on the exit of these corners. You'll see guys trying to get their cars pointed in the middle of the corner, trying to get a straight exit as Frisch dives to the outside of Brown going into turn number 3. That's not going to work, but I'm kind of surprised by Aaron Brown in that 051. He's looking underneath Michael Guest. That's for the 5th spot.
Oh, trouble in turn 2. Landon Mills just got spun around.
Oh.
I believe that was from Ethan Corder.
Dorman gets into him. Cabrera, he's spinning.
Andy
Margo.
Wow, Brandon Hawken with damage now. Andy Margo around in turn number 2. And now that's opened the door right back up for Seth Noel, who's right back in it, is now Brandon Hawken. Looks like that car isn't handling as well as he's going to want it to. Almost 3 wide. Now contact for the lead.
Yeah, trying to get around Art Reimer, who is basically in a makeshift modified right now. He's already
that car's been shortened up.
Ton of damage on that 49. I believe Art's just happy to be out there. Has not made a lot of FTF races this season, but right now he's right in the thick of it. This battle for the lead right behind Dylan Kemp, who we mentioned earlier is just full of damage as well. Had a lot of impact, at least at some point, on that inside line. Hawkins still managing to not only maintain this gap on Seth, but maybe even pull back away. But when we looked a little bit earlier, and we got another car around.
Thomas Kohick.
There's so much to pay attention to. But Nick Miller was actually pulling towards Seth Noel for that, or sorry, Seth Noel for that second position before that. So got to keep an eye on that. The team number 19 as well at some point in this race.
And it's really interesting to see these guys' lines. I mean, Brandon Hawken now trying to tread around this lap traffic with a little more caution after what happened last time he was to the outside of that 48. But you'll see it right here. These guys are venturing everywhere on this racetrack, not so much on the high side, but you see Andy Margo kind of on the rumble strips out of the way. They're just trying to get as low as possible. You see Jake Poulin as well there, using every inch just to try to make up time somewhere.
They make their way through this. There's just stuff happening everywhere on the track right now. Art Reimer is just in the way right now, unfortunately, so he has brought it to pit lane. And I'm not really sure how the pits work in this thing, but we could potentially see green flag pit stops in this race. And for those of you unfamiliar with this track, pit entry is on the exit of turn number 4. And I have no clue how they're going to get in there without just causing a big log jam, but we got to wait and see what happens with that. But there you see right here, Dylan Kem side by side once again. That's not for position with Brett Pancari. Next car for position for him is going out of turn 4 and Jake Poulin. So Caleb, there's just cars everywhere on the track right now.
Oh, Anthony Margo just went around, and now they're going to stack up once again. Chris Wett's around as well, all on the front stretch. Looks like everybody else is going to get by.
J-turn. Oh, nope.
Yeah, it's so easy to just get trapped down there with no cautions. As we said earlier, you do get that caution around halfway. But
come on,
that's it.
Oh
no!
That's Scotty Smith. He's got a partner now.
Now we got 2 cars trying to maneuver a 19-point turn here. Chris Wett's really is struggling here.
Chris Wett's just Austin Powerzing. I don't know how you say that on the front stretch. There we go. He finally gets it going.
I saw that happen to a couple guys already, where you get stuck on the inside and you really have no option but to either do what Wetz did, and it takes at least a lap or 2 to finally get going, or you tow it, which Wyatt Tinsley did earlier, and he only lost a lap. So if you do it in turn 4, I wonder if it just makes sense. He is still losing a lot of ground. Wetz has been struggling all race, and we're only 35 laps in. I wonder if just towing is the faster method to get back underway.
And looking now, Seth Noel uses the bumper a little bit to get Chris Wett's out of the way. Now he's going to focus ahead on more lap traffic. That's David Cabrera. Nick Miller looks like he's going to try to get to the rear bumper of that number 1 machine now.
Have a retiree to report. Philip McCandless has called it a night, so he's pulled off and will retire the 109 car, one of the few starts he's made this season. So put Wett's behind the wall. Right now, nothing much has changed. Brandon Hawken has only seen a little bit of trouble with that dust up he had with the wreck off of turn number 2. And it doesn't really seem like Seth Noel is making up that much time on him. Last time by a 13.9 for Hawken, a 14.1 for Seth. So pretty even at the front of the field. Seth's going to need Hawken to get caught up into something if he wants to get to him.
And looking through, Michael Guest just made a move on some lap traffic, trying to get around, and that just seems to be the name of the game right now, is just navigating through this lap traffic. Guys like Brandon Hawken, all these guys up at the front, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, 9 cars so far on the lead lap, and it looks like Ethan Corder might not have much time left either.
And there's a couple guys that have made their way through this field. Jake Pullen won for sure. He's easily the hardest charger. He's up 14 spots, but he's already a lap down. And then Aaron Brown, someone that has not ran a lot of races with us at FTF. He started all the way back in the tail end of that top dozen. He started in 12th. He has made his way into the top 5 as he almost wrecks right in front of Dorman and Tidwell. But he was right on the back end of Michael Guest, who, I mean, let's just keep it real, guys. He is a Coke driver, and he has been very consistent, so he knows his way around a track, and he's doing a very good job in that number 51. He's doing very well, and I think the name of the game right now is just try to be clean. A lot of these guys are just going to try and log laps, and if by the end of this, we will have a caution at lap 100, and if you can stay probably within 2 or 3 laps, you'll get all your laps back during the yellow, and you'll be right back in the thick of it.
Absolutely. Looking through the field a few laps ago, Omar Diallo had a really close call with some lap traffic. He's still making his way down on the inside, just past Robert Dorman. Has Michael P. Frisch hot on his tail right now. Still trying to navigate through here.
Got a big log jam right ahead of them as the aforementioned Aaron Brown is up there. Michael Guest just ahead of him. All of these guys from Guest on back is all 4 positions. So it's a big gap right now. Guest is probably about 10 seconds behind the leader. So this is a very spread out pack, as we've alluded to numerous times. And right now, Brandon Hawken has lapped up to 8th right now. So there's a very good chance if Hawken keeps running this pace, he could potentially lap the field.
Oh, Omar Diallo just got in the rear of Aaron Brown, and Aaron Brown going to send Landon Mills around on the front stretch. And that's going to allow Omar Diallo to pass Aaron Brown to get into the top 5. And now Michael P. Frisch on the outside of Aaron Brown has that better arc, that better angle, going to use that momentum. And now he's going to pass Aaron Brown, as you still see Landon Mills stuck on the inside right there. And now Aaron Brown going to get contact from Logan Helton as well. So much happening right now for P7.
And there's already a sense of urgency there, Caleb. Right behind Logan Helton is our leader in Brandon Hawken. Aaron Brown getting the chrome horn one more time from Logan Helton. They're already on the verge of being lapped. Here comes Hawken. He's looking low on Helton right now. There's actually a little bit of contact in front of them. Brent Jones into the wall right in front of Aaron Brown. You got Andy Margot just doing his best, trying to just stay out of the way. Frisch still trying to get around and contact right in front of the leader. And that's going to put Aaron Brown and Frisch a lap down, losing a ton of ground and multiple spots. Hawkins still going, and that is now up to 6th for our leader. 6 cars left on the lead lap, Caleb.
Yeah, and that could not have worked out better for Logan Helton. I mean, he still has Brandon Hawken hard charging, but those 2 cars that he was battling up ahead.
Oh my gosh, Andy Marco.
You see Michael P. Frisch there. Wow, still side by side. Andy Margot again. Seth Noel making his way around as we have more trouble. Landon Mills around once again on the inside.
Wets. Oh,
and we got more contact. My goodness.
Thomas Kohick again was in that.
Landon Mills is around again on the backstretch into Frisch. Oh my goodness. They've been wrecking for 2 laps.
Jake Poulin just plowed into it.
Aaron Brown just got contact as well. Landon Mills needs to get out of the middle of the racetrack. Logan Helton again. Oh my goodness, and now he's going to make more contact. Landon Mills with probably about as rough of a stretch of 2 laps as you can get.
He's going to get a fast repair.
Again, if you're just joining us, there's unlimited fast repairs in this. So you're going to see Frisch just get a new car. There it is. Did he uncheck his tires? He did. So back out he goes. He's going to lose, I think, maybe 2 laps in this.
Oh, Landon Mills also going into the pits. Miller got around Seth Knoll, but Nick Miller had to check up for Landon Mills going into turn 4 to go and get a fast repair as we see Frisch back in the action. He's back off the pits.
Oh, Thomas
in the middle of the track,
and now
there goes Seth.
Oh my goodness, now Nick Miller has 2nd place uncontested. Seth Noel, a tough break. As you see, Thomas Kohick just going to pull it into the pit lane, and I probably would do the same thing right about now.
So here's a question, Kevin. So under caution, when we hit lap 100, are the lap down cars going to get a wave around if they're only 1 lap down?
It is moon car rules, essentially.
Okay.
So until probably 1 to go, they will be able to get their laps back. I'm pretty sure Jake will let them know, hey, this is no more getting laps back, as Ben Easterday would say. So I'm sure some of these guys will have a few laps. I would say, you know, probably 4 or 5 laps down, you can probably get your laps back, but we'll just have to wait and see how much time they get. But they will be able to get their laps back by doing manual wave rounds.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't know what moon car rules is for whatever reason, under caution, the lap down cars are able to pass the lead lap cars while they pace and get their laps back as much time as they need until they can get back on the lead lap under caution. So just to clear that up.
Close call a lap or two ago. Logan Helton currently still trying to hold off a hard-charging Brandon Hawken, stacked up with the lap traffic and almost resulted in an accident. Almost happening again here with Andy Margot. As Margot will bow out of the way. Brandon Hawken has lapped the entire field up to 5th place, which is now guarded by Logan Helton. As we see
Thomas
more cars.
Kohick.
Yeah, Thomas Kohick around on the backstretch there. He's going to keep it going, and that's going to stack up everybody again. Andy Margot around once again. David Cabrera, Landon Mills, Art Reimer.
Take Andy. Andy's going to take a tow there.
I think that's the wise decision. It's just so hard to get back going if you're stuck. There's just not a lot of width, and the turn radius in this car for some reason is just terrible. So it's better just to go into the pits. But like Kayla mentioned, only 5 cars left on the lead lap. Logan Helton doing a phenomenal job right now, holding his pace right in front of Hawk, and he's actually pulling away just a little bit more damage, more contact out of turn 4 right behind Seth Knoll. And here comes more. These guys have been door banging for about 4 or 5 laps. I feel like I've seen Landon Mills around or in the wall at some point for like 10 laps straight, so it doesn't surprise me to see him barreling into it somehow. But they all keep it straight right in front of Nick Miller. Let's see if Miller can negotiate this traffic. He is in second, granted 5 seconds behind our leader in Hawken.
And we saw Seth Noel. There's Nick Miller now going to go around the same thing that Seth Noel did earlier. Back up into traffic. Robert Dorman involved. Everybody's going to get back going now, but man, Nick Miller loses a bunch of time and the hood. Could be seeing him come in for a fast repair here soon.
Luckily, Dorman is in the Jonathan Oates backup car, so that car doesn't even belong to him. So I guess he can beat that thing up however much he wants in this race. Look at this group we have back here, though.
Nick Miller is pitting with the meatball, so he will be coming in.
Omar Diallo 3 wide with Brent Jones in that 89. Brent's coming in.
Contact, and it's Lane Tidwell just went around in turns 3 and 4.
The Dodge Charger.
Oh, that might have been netcode. That's crazy at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, looking right now, lap traffic update. Brandon Hawken has made his way around Logan Helton, and now it is the top 3 that remain unlapped and might not even stay that way for long as Brandon Hawken looking to the rear bumper of Omar Diallo. So a great run for Brandon Hawken so far tonight. Kept that car out of trouble and has a commanding 10-second lead at the moment.
I feel bad for making him my pick. I feel like that was like the easiest call, but he's doing a good job. Michael Guest still in second. Omar has he does have the right paint scheme now, so that's good. He's actually in the 018 now, so that's good. Who is that around? Ethan Corder. Yep. Ethan Corder around in 2. He's still only a lap down.
Got turned by
Scotty
Michael
Smith
Guest.
is going back into the pits. He's a modified, so he'll get a fresh vehicle. David Cabrera was on the pits. He had a substantial amount of damage. He is 4 laps down at the moment and 13th.
And looking now.
Who? Oh, Lane Tidwell got disqualified.
Yeah,
he must have had a meatball and didn't pit.
Yeah, after that accident, you see the front bumper hanging off the race car, and he will not be continuing this race.
Maybe that's just the meatball flag. Maybe he can. No, he's off the track. Wow.
And
he joins.
He's out. No more Dodge Charger.
Philip McCandless, Wyatt Tinsley, and Chris Wetz as the retirees of this race.
Who would have thought attrition would be a factor in the race with unlimited fast repairs?
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, I enjoyed it.
So the New York Mets have defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 8-2. I need a Jacob Hits update immediately.
Yeah, take that, Jacob.
Jacob's too busy having real life fun.
He's too busy enjoying himself in North Carolina. A well-deserved break. Zach Johnson says that's possible.
Oh my God, Michael P. Frisch just punted Andy Margot in turn 3 and 4, and
Poor Andy.
That should be an automatic ejection for Frisch. That is.
Yeah, Frisch sent him to the top lane, and now you see Andy Margot here just struggling to hang on.
That is sacrilegious in FTF. You wreck Andy, you got to deal with the rest of us.
And just looking tonight, I mean, this race really does feel like a rhythm-based track. I mean, it feels like if one thing knocks you off, kind of that balance, that rhythm that you have going, it's just feels like, you know, you got to get it back together for 4 or 5 laps. You're just kind of out of control everywhere. Just really interesting to see that play out tonight. Brandon Hawkins still struggling to get around Omar Diallo, as you see Michael Guest right in front of him. Those are your only 2 cars that are on the lead lap right now, for anybody wondering.
9 laps to go in the first half of this race. Again, there will be a halfway caution at lap 100.
And you got the leader, Brandon Hawkins, barreling down for the 3rd place driver to go a lap down. Omar Diallo now 14.1 seconds back. Lap time's around 14.2, so he's got to get going here. Now, obviously, he'll get his lap back once we go under caution, but it's got to be good, at least feel good for Hawkins, as long as he doesn't get involved in any mess. I mean, we've seen Nick Miller, Seth Knoll, a bunch of guys who were up in the top 2 or 3 get involved and stuff, and they're still fighting on in the top 10. But if Hawkins can continue this good fortune and just this consistency, this is, for his sake, a good race, but for us, a pretty boring one. But it's good to see that Hawkins is doing pretty well tonight.
Yeah, wondering if he's going to try to get around these 2 just for glory, to say, you know what, I did it. I lapped everybody. And you see it right now as this stage is coming to a close. Half, really.
I mean, why not? If you're Brandon Hawkins, you've come this close to lapping the field in the first half of the race. Why not at least try? So really working over Omar. Hawkins not the type of guy to move someone out of the way, you know, unless it's deserved. But right now, Hawkins has just put an absolute whooping on these guys in the first half of this race. The first side-by-side ordeal I can see on the track. I don't think it's for position, but Nick Miller and Ethan Corder just settled that. So everyone pretty much single file as of right now.
Battle for 7th. Here comes Dylan Kemp underneath Jake Poulin. Jake will be a little preoccupied here in a few minutes. He will be throwing the lap 100 caution, so I'm sure he's just trying to get in some clean traffic, but he falls back now to the 8th spot. Dylan Kemp having a good race so far. Had a little bit early contact, but he's up 7 spots right now. So good for him.
You could throw the caution.
Yeah, I could.
We are at lap 100, and see if we get that yellow. Yes, it does come out. And Brandon Hawkins, his conquest is over, and are we crowning him the stage 1 winner? It's you can see your top 10 results in the first half of the FTF All-Star race here. And you can see trying to get their laps back now.
This is going to be fun to watch, because everyone is going to be scrambling to get their laps back, because there's so many cars a lap down. If you just see Brandon, he's there by himself, and the whole entire field just keeps going by him. There's a better shot on the blimp cam. And it's a moving conveyor belt for this caution right here. You see the rubber that's actually built up, Kevin. I mean, there's some stuff being laid down here.
Yeah, and you know, this is interesting because, you know, obviously when we do our moon car races, you know, it's almost an incentive to come in and pit. But no tires in the box. So really the only reason why you would really pit here is if you wanted to get a new car. Hawkins stays out, as well as Guest. Omar Diallo decided to come in, as well as Logan Helton. So I think once everyone gets their laps back here, we'll see a lot of takers on the pit road for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then they'll go right back out on the track. It's going to be a really interesting dynamic. I think Hawkins is going to be the leader, but at this point, he might have the most damaged car in the field once we go back to green.
Yeah, and looking right now, your lap traffic update. So everybody in the top 10 now has their lap back. That's back to Ethan Corder. We'll get that ticker up for you in a second. Brett Pancari is the first car a lap down, and he is 3 laps down. So he will work diligently to get those 3 laps back. Should have the time around this short speedway. We'll get back green here soon.
Should be going 1 to go, I think, this time by.
We will see as they come back around. And, just looking at this top 10, I mean, there are a lot of names in here that could very well take this if something does happen to Brandon Hawken. I mean, we saw Seth Noel sitting in 10th. He had speed. He was, charging up until that incident happened. Guys like Nick Miller, Logan Helton, Aaron Brown, Michael P. Frisch, Michael Guest. I mean, all these guys really have shown lots of speed tonight. So this thing far from over, and the field gets a second crack at Brandon Hawken here.
Yeah, I think Hawken is just a beneficiary of not only being up front early, but just being very, very lucky to not be involved in any incidents. We've seen guys involved in 3, 4, 5 crashes already, and we've seen leaders up front, Seth Noel, Michael Frisch, Nick Miller, all involved in just secondary accidents with lap cars on the inside and the outside, around and in the way. So anything is possible as we are going green here, boys. Double file, and Hawken's going to lead them off.
Brandon Hawken, control car, green flag back in the air from the LA Memorial Coliseum. Michael Guest stays packed to the outside. Omar Diallo looks like he's going to go around for the P3 position. And a tough break for him is now he's going to come back up into traffic. Everybody there will try to get back around. We'll look back at the battle for the lead. Michael Guest trying to get around. You see Omar Diallo still sitting right there. Seth Noel trying to get around him. Now Michael Guest with a bump to the back end of the 99. A crazy few laps to get this race back underway.
Second half is well underway here, and it's already off to a heck of a start, but Michael Guest is really trying to work over the rear bumper of Brandon Hawken, a 3-car breakaway at the front.
You might want to keep an eye on Omar here.
Omar has just been not very courteous of his surroundings right now since getting wrecked. He's going to just move Nick Miller out of the way.
Oh, and he's going to wreck Nick Miller.
He's going to dump him.
And he's going to.
And he's done. I think he knew what he was doing.
And that is a contender for this race that is already out, and we're 10 laps in to stage number 2.
Yeah, and this is it. You got that first half to kind of get the cobwebs out. This is a very bizarre format, but everything kind of reset, and what a horrible start for Omar. Obviously not happy with Nick Miller, tried to retaliate there, and Nick just kept on going. So
it's an all-star
tough break for the 018. Yeah, I know, but it's got to suck to be wrecked on lap 1 of the restart. But we're still green. We're still green, and to keep an eye on Dylan Kemp. He's looking on the outside of Nick Miller. That'll be for 7th. He's trying to get back a couple spots that he lost under caution. Was in 7th before our competition yellow, trying to get it back. But right now, Frisch and a bunch of guys in front of him as well. Ethan Corder, he was around a few times. He's now in 6th.
And want to focus back on Brandon Hawken right now. This battle for the lead, they're trying to get around lap traffic right now, but Michael Guest, after seeing Brandon Hawken drive away that last stint, are you really just going to do whatever it takes to get by him here to make sure he doesn't drive away from the field again?
Well, I think you just want to stay in touch because Guest has done all he can do right now to stay with him, and I think he's mission accomplished right now. As they got a bunch of lap traffic to deal with, and who knows, maybe the lap traffic causes some trouble in front of him, and Hawken gets involved in it, and Guest will be right there. So you can never count Michael Guest out in any race, anywhere. I mean, he's just way too good to not be a factor in anything, and he's doing a great job right now of staying glued to Hawken. He's got to run here. He might look to the inside for the lead.
He is going to look to the inside for the lead. Sorry, Kevin. Side by side down the backstretch for the lead now. Michael Guest with the preferred lane. And it looks like he's going to be using Brent Jones as a pick there. And now, for what feels like the first time tonight, we're going to have a new leader.
Something I've seen in these no tire stop races, people will save, people will conserve in the back of a field in a late model race. And I'm pretty sure we've seen a bit of a hustle by Michael Guest. Ran his tires to the absolute most consistent he could without being a lap down, without losing a ton of spots, and I think he has turned on the fire. And he is already pulling away by about a half second on Brandon Hawken. Did Hawken possibly just kill his rear tires? Because right now he is losing about a car length every single corner to that number 74 of Michael Guest. Every single time they pull off the corner, Guest pulls away. So we're very early here in this run, only 124 laps in, 123 laps in, so 78 to go, so a long way to go here, but Guest looking really good right now.
And looking at Brandon Hawkins just continuing to fall back, and Andy Margo now.
No! Oh, Andy.
Yeah, now Brandon Hawkins going to lose even more time. Watching this run so far, though, I mean, Brandon Hawkins just cannot get back in the throttle like Michael Guest can on the exit of corners, and it's really showing with how far he's already pulled away.
Well, maybe you mentioned this earlier, Caleb, when we had the caution. This is a rhythm racetrack, and Brandon Hawkins was in such a good rhythm in that green flag run. You know, it was just consistent. He could just run the same laps over and over, but the caution could be a detriment to him, as we've seen. You know, maybe it threw him off his rhythm a little bit. So he's got to find it, get back in the groove if he has a chance of getting back to Michael Guest. But right now, Guest has this thing figured out so far, and he is slowly pulling away from Hawkins as this race progresses.
And looking through the field right now, Seth Noel just dipped to the inside of some more lap traffic. That's Brett Pancari, who is now a lap down. The top 10 currently on the lead lap. Looking through still, I mean, everybody's just kind of calm and settled down for right now. I mean, do you just
As soon as we say that, Robert Dorman just went around. In
there we
turn
go.
2.
There he is.
In the backup
Omar Diallo back to Nick Miller. Sorry to cut you off there. Omar Diallo is still not very happy with Nick Miller. He just punted him again. Nick Miller kept it going once again, but
I think he's just out there to wreck Nick Miller right now. He's been on a mission since he came out of the pits again.
Looking around still. We got a few cars on pit road, and Michael Guest now still trying to navigate side-by-side lap traffic up ahead of him. Art Reimer and Landon Mills side-by-side. We'll see. He's going to elect to take the high side here. Oh.
Well, they just drove through each other, so
Yeah, that's
so much for sim racing. Welcome to Track Mania.
What's so funny about that, Zach?
Zach loves Track Mania.
Producer Zach Johnson just getting a good giggle out of that.
Ooh, Brandon Hawkins just got really loose off exit there, got down into the rumble strips.
Yeah, I just think he might have just used his stuff in the first portion of the race. Landon Mill trying to. He has been a pinball this entire race. Somehow still in the top 10. Scotty Smith right behind him.
Oh no! You can't. He's in second. You can't do that.
Brent Jones gets out of the way for Michael Guest. And now the lead is now opened up to over a second, 1.1 second lead. And apologies if I'm not really paying attention. I'm just making sure that Omar doesn't hit Nick again.
We're on
They're
Omar
good right now.
up in the booth.
Well, you know, I was told if, there's too much toxicity to get rid of them. But they're doing fine. They're good.
Looking through
They're
right now.
behaving.
Everyone's still single file for the most part. Looks like our only side-by-side battle is going to be Aaron Brown navigating his way through lap traffic on the outside of Art Reimer. And, this is really a big change of pace from that first end of the race where it felt like 10 things were happening every lap, and we've kind of gotten ourselves into a calm little lull period. And as soon as I say that, Robert Dorman locks it up. Dylan Kim. Oh, and now Robert Dorman's around on the backstretch.
Right in front of our leader. Oh, man, what a move to get that out of the way. Wow.
And gets through.
2 for 2 on the commentator's curse tonight. Looks like everyone else is going to get through all right, though.
I mean, that's what I think Brandon Hawkins' hope is, that the carnage just eats Guest up in some way when they're navigating through this lap traffic. But Guest has just been so consistent going under Dylan Kim right now, so he is lapped up to the 7th position now. So this is the window is closing right now for Brandon Hawkins, and I think he realized that. He is trying to drive into the corners as hard as he can now.
That last time by, even passing Dylan Kim, Guest ran a 14.031, which is about 6/10 slower than our qualifying pace. So tires are falling off. Omar Diallo spins nearly in front of our leader. Dorman also nearly around. That was a bit close there, a little bit tight. But now Hawkins got to deal with all 3 of these guys. Kim, Dorman. Oh, a lot of contact out of 4.
Didn't Dorman just wreck?
Oh, they're right
no,
here again.
Omar!
They're talking. Gets in the back of Diallo, and that's going to cause a parking lot in turn 2.
I don't know if Omar touched him.
I feel like Omar is already
Brandon
used to
touched
being
him.
stuck here. He's already stuck here about 30 laps ago.
He might just stay there. Nope, there he goes.
I think he whipped her around.
Try to work his way around.
Brandon Mills around, right in front of Guess. He gets going again. Well, he's got a pit.
And last stint we were really talking about, the great fortune that Brandon Hawken had all day, and now it feels like Michael Guess is kind of getting the receiving end of that. As you saw, Brandon Hawken was held up by that incident, as Omar Diallo is still around in turn number 2. But you see Michael Guest is just, is there something going on with these leaders where they just have some rabbit's foot or something?
Like I said, I think Guest just realized that this is a 200 lap feature. I mean, it's something that you see if you watch the short track scene at all. Yeah, Omar needs to go here. We've been stuck here for
Be professionals.
7 or 8 laps. But you will see some of the top late model guys, if it's a no set race where they don't have a brake or anything, they'll have a brake, but they don't allow them to change tires. They will sandbag for the first 50 or 75 laps, and then they will just have so much better tires than the rest of the field. They rip through the field and somehow find a way to win. The difference is, I think Guest did it in second. He was able to lose 13 seconds and stay ahead of Hawken as far as being on the lead lap, and it was just enough. And who else is now stopped? Is that Diallo again? He's just sitting there.
Yeah, that is Omar Diallo just sitting on the backstretch. He's going to get it back up to speed maybe as we get down into the corner, just pulling onto the rumble strips. Stopped once again. A rough second stint for the 018. Oh, Aaron Brown just went around almost. Great save from that 051. He gets it back up to speed.
Kevin is yelling at Omar.
Seth Noel just locked up the brakes. He's currently trying to hold off a hard-charging Nick Miller, who is the last car on the lead lap at the moment, but does have some breathing room to Michael Guest behind him.
Just kind of feels like there's... Oh, here comes Omar again, trying to wreck Nick, and he just puts him in the wall. I think it might be time to remove Omar, Kevin. Oh, no, he got Guest involved!
He just held up Michael Guest, and now Michael Guest looks like Brandon Hawken has also fallen back as well, as now Aaron Brown has inherited. Oh my goodness.
All hell is broken loose here at the LA Coliseum.
Oh, and Brandon Hawken sends it all the way down, contact with Aaron Brown. This is for P
position.
number 3. Right here, side by side, turns 1 and 2. Brandon Hawken down to the inside. He gets the power down. The rear of the car swings out from underneath him. Still side by side, has the preferred line, and now will complete the pass. That's for the 3rd position.
And by the way, sorry, I had to remove Omar because he was obviously being a little bit of a weapon. Sorry, Nick Miller, for that. A little bit of a retaliatory move. Just had to get rid of him, but...
He retaliated like 3 times.
Yeah, well, I gave him a couple. It's not, it's not a cup race. I gave him a couple shots, but I don't need him hunting the field the entire race. But I think if Guest can stay... Oh, God, there goes Dorman again. But if Guest can stay this far out, even if he gets involved in something, he might be okay. 40 to go this time by. So, kudos to him for keeping it clean. Kudos for Logan Helton. He was a modified in the first stage. Now he's all the way up to 2nd. So give him credit for keeping it clean enough to stay in the top 2. And this race, what an event.
I'm glad I didn't run it.
Want to focus back again. Brandon Hawken and Aaron Brown have been hard at it for a few laps here for the 3rd position. Aaron Brown has really not been afraid to use this bumper, as you see.
What's left of it.
Ooh, he gets big time loose off exit there. Gonna lose a few tenths.
You think that that front bumper bar that's exposed now, as we have Nick Miller's around again? Omar didn't do that this time. Do you think that front bumper bar gets a little extra, oomph to the car when he puts the bumper to someone, Kevin?
Makes me wish we had the new damage model, because I feel like if it could, that would be the only time it really can. But every time they talk about it, at least in real life, that like it's almost like a bumper in the sense like on our cars. You know, it's a softer. It's not steel on steel. So I feel like it's just a spring to just shove someone and push someone around. That's why these guys ping pong on all over each other.
Poor Andy Margot just got punted once again by Brandon Hawkin there. Aaron Brown now going to peek down to the inside as he might actually have position here. Down to the inside, side by side for P number 3 once again.
There have been 5 flips in World of Outlaws already tonight. I'm watching that as well.
Surprised we haven't had 5 flips tonight.
Give credit to Aaron Brown, though. I mean, we haven't talked about it much throughout the season. Hasn't made very many starts, but he's had a very good, solid run here tonight. He's been in the top 5, it seems like, pretty much the whole race. And, man, Brandon Hawkin, those tires are struggling as Aaron Brown, with no front end pretty much, is putting some distance on him. So give credit to that 051. Big run for that car tonight.
We focus right here. This is Michael P. Frisch and Seth Noel. This is for the 5th position, side by side. Are they going to maybe try to split this lap car? No, Seth Noel will fall back in line, but he does have a little bit of a run trying anything to get around this number 58 of Michael P. Frisch.
Art Reimer gets a little bit loose. He's been struggling as well tonight. He's already back to 5 laps down. Seth Noel tried to do the crossover move out of turn 2. Just not enough compared to Michael P. Frisch's just speed at this point. Seth's had a good race, though. You know, he started up front, started on the pole. He's still in the top 10 in 6. Still has an opportunity at a top 5. Hawkin is dead sideways in front of Frisch. So anything is possible. But I think, you know, it's been a tale of 2 races. You've got the guys that are pretty quick and, you know, just trying to navigate the traffic, and then you have, well, the traffic, you know, guys wrecking, guys spinning, Dorman's in the wall again. You know, it's been, I think this is exactly what we expected. Ethan Corder is up against the fence. He was actually, he's still in the top 10. He's actually in 8th. He might have actually fallen back a little bit here, but it's been a tale of 2 stories as far as, you know, guys who have been fighting for the win and the rest of them just trying to survive.
Landon Mills is getting roughed up right now by Ethan Corder.
Ooh, he might go around here. Big contact, and now Ethan Corder going to make his way past Landon Mills. Landon Mills with the retaliatory.
This is not for position, mind you.
Oh, he tried to take a swipe at him again.
They're just not happy with each other.
I'm giving them a couple chances here. Okay, they're calming down.
Ethan Corder is in 8th and Landon Mills is in 10th.
Yeah, and if you're Logan Helton right now, you got to be asking, like, why is this happening in front of me and not Michael Guest, who's 3 seconds up ahead of me right now?
Well, it's not over yet. I mean, Guest did
Logan Helton
something happen.
Sent it in. What a pass he just made on Landon Mills.
Speaking of passes, Brandon Hawkins' tires are dead. He is now all the way back in 6th. Just lost a couple spots to Frisch. Just got passed by Seth Noel. He is in the same predicament that the rest of the field was in the first stage, but he is no shot now. It's, man, crazy to think about. I'm sure these guys weren't really considering, because I mean the tire fall off in this car is not very high. Probably didn't really come through their heads as far as, you know, do I have to really save here? And Hawkin has paid the price for running so aggressively in the first set of 100 laps.
He's about to get lapped.
Do you think he's regretting not coming in during that halftime stage break?
I mean, the only thing he really could do is get a new car. I feel like with the traffic being so bad, being stuck in traffic would have been even worse than getting a new car, because I mean you can't get tires. And he's struggling. He's running 14.4s. Guest is running a 14 flat in clean track. So it's only a matter of time before he gets lapped. So what a turn of events. You know, just not something you really expect at a short track is, you know, tire conservation, because long green flag runs are just not something you really see on iRacing at short tracks.
A fall from grace from that first stage as you see Michael Guest now inching closer to the back end of the Brandon Hawkin machine.
Seemed like just a few minutes ago this was the battle for the lead, these 2 guys, but now Hawkins getting lapped, so it's really as Kevin said, been a tale of two halves for this race.
Looking back through the pack once again, Aaron Brown making his way through some lap traffic as well. Michael P. Frisch and Seth Noel, as Kevin mentioned, made their way around Brandon Hawken, and they had some great battling going on earlier. Michael Guest now making his way past the 099 of Brandon Hawken. 14 laps to go from the LA Memorial Coliseum.
And how about a shout out to Brett Pancari? He was another guy. He got lapped, I think, within the first like 8 or 10 laps of the race. He's 4 laps down. He's he's definitely not got the race pace to win, but he's been really clean. He's up 11 spots from 22nd. He's a lap away from a top 10 if Landon Mills wrecks, which
With one hand.
signs point to yes. He can't see he can't see us, but we can see him out there.
Look at him, his one hand in that thing in the corners.
Hey, he's nailing it.
Look at him in the VR.
Oh, Scotty Smith just went around for P14, and now he's going to be trapped on the inside of the racetrack on the backstretch.
Is that a Peugeot that Brett Pancari's in? I think it is, right? Thank you, Zach. That was an aggressive yes.
He knew. He was
Yeah.
prepared for you to ask.
He just
Oh,
yelled.
trouble! Art Reimer and Landon Mills get into it again. Let's see if Landon Mills takes out Art.
There he goes.
I think he's going to at least try.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
there it goes.
Oh, they
Pepper
keep
Corey
going.
checked up. That was the spot right there. It was going to be collected.
Oh, Brett.
Michael P. Frisch.
What is Seth doing behind? He just threw it in there.
He saw
Right in front of the leader.
Yeah, this is right in front of Guest, right in front of Seth Knoll. Michael Frisch barely gets around it, but anything can really happen here.
Yeah, if you're Michael Guest, you're just hoping to get through this little gaggle of cars and just, oh, please, just let me through. I got 7 laps to go. Please, nothing happen. He's going to give the bumper to Seth Noel.
I'm not trying to sow a conspiracy here, but Seth Knoll is on Nexus, and so is Logan Helton. Logan
The
Helton in
ultimate
second.
conspiracy play.
Dead Zone and Nexus don't like each other, I think.
We work together for the firecracker.
Stop it, I'm trying to make it dramatic.
I'm sorry. Guess trying to make the outside lane work around Seth.
Yeah, Michael Guest actually tagged the outside wall a little bit there. It cost him a few tenths, but, maybe trying to knock him out of the rhythm. Oh, Seth Noel sends it, and now Michael Guest is going to be able to get around him pretty easily here in turns 1 and 2. 4 laps to go. This race is just absolutely flown by. And what a performance from Michael Guest after being one of the only cars that wasn't lapped in that first stint. And now he's done what Brandon Hawken tried to do earlier. And with 2 laps to go, it looks like Michael Guest has this thing in hand.
White flag, and I think Guest has it through 1 and 2. Only 4 cars on the lead lap, but I believe Guest has it. 4-second lead for the number 74.
Out of turn number 4, Michael Guest gets it done, wins the FTF All-Star race at the LA Memorial Coliseum. A great run for him. We'll watch as everybody else maybe cleanly makes it.
No,
Are
they're all
dead?
wrecked in turn 1.
That's
Oh my God, Michael P. Frisch, my goodness. And we'll look at Michael Guest here. Just a great run all around for him. Don't think he fell outside of the top 3 all night, so he'll come around. We'll see some donuts from that 74 machine.
Are we surprised? I'm not really surprised.
Andy Margot had fun. That's all I
He did.
care about.
I heard him. Here he comes. He's going to join Guest in the celebration. But he was appreciative of all the votes, so big Andy Margot fan. Landon Mills is joining Guest on the front stretch for some reason.
No, he's not, actually. And Landon Mills will be left alone on the front stretch. We're going to take a run through our finishing results here from the LA Memorial Coliseum. In 1 second, there we go. The FTF All-Star race. Michael Guest comes home with a win. Logan Helton and Aaron Brown with a strong run as well tonight. Michael P. Frisch and Seth Noel round out your top 5. Brandon Hawken, Ethan Corder, Dylan Kame, and then Jake Poulin and Landon Mills round out your top 10.
11th is Brett Pancari, managed to somehow stay there after all the calamity he went through in the final laps. Art Reimer 12th, Brent Jones 2 will finish in 13th. Andy Margo up 9 spots for Andy. He finishes in 14th. Robert Dorman 15th. Scotty Smith will finish in the 16th spot. Nick Miller up front for the first maybe 60, 70 laps or so. Got involved with Omar, and we all saw what happened there. He finishes all the way back in 17th. Thomas Kohik had a race. He finished 18th. Omar Diallo removed from the race with 63 laps to go. He finishes in 19th. And David Cabrera, 118 laps down, he finishes in 20th, Sean.
Last few finishers, Lane Tidwell will come home 21st, Chris Wetz 22nd, Wyatt Tinsley 23rd, Philip McCandless 24th. A very disappointing run for that 32 car. Didn't make a single damn lap in 25th. And Josh Stoltz 26th, rounding out the field.
201 laps down, Sean. How does it feel after that tonight? Great performance from you.
Gave it a good effort. You know, we were slow from the time we unloaded, and just to kind of save us a bunch of money, we put it back on the truck, and by the looks of things, it was a good decision.
We gave it our all, and we gave it all up.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aaron Brown, after a third place finish tonight, he's standing alongside with Sean Butler.
Aaron, man, you were very quiet early on in the race, just kind of picking your way through the field, but you come home with a third place finish, man. Tell us about your experience tonight in that 051.
I don't even know. Just avoiding the crashes, which, you know, I'm honored to be in the field because normally I don't make a normal FTF field because I either choke my lap or just not able to race. So it's great to race. They expect a third. I did not expect that, but I knew it was just going to be avoiding wrecks, and I did that. So,
I mean, you were fast throughout the whole race. I mean, it seemed like you were battling with guests there in the first half of the race there, passing Michael Frisch and all that, some pretty heavy hitters in the series. So, what did you think was the main, goal to be faster on this little tiny track?
Well, I kind of forgot, but I know I ran a lot here back in February when they had the official series here, and I pretty much, that's all I did. I just grinded that the entire weeks that they did it, and just kind of learned to just, you gotta, when you run second, you just kind of gotta break when you start maxing out on the rev loaner, and that's just hug that white line, and that's pretty much how I learned to just keep that and just minor adjustments here and there, and then it'll get you faster.
Well, it sounds like it worked out for you, man. Got yourself a good podium finish here. So you mentioned here you don't really make very many races all that much, and it is very tough to get into, the main, so to speak, for the FTF series. Think you can use this race as a little bit of a momentum builder for you for next week?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure where we are next week, but it depends on what track it is, because some tracks are good, like everyone, and some tracks, everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. So I'm not really used to this car like I was the Gen 6, so I'm still starting to get the hang of it now. These past few weeks have been really good in NIS, so I feel like I'm learning it. So hopefully we can bring that experience over here and hopefully make some fields.
Aaron, nonetheless, man, like I said, got yourself a good podium finish. I would say clean race, but you're missing a couple of appendages on that car. But nonetheless, you bring it home in third, but still a hell of a run for you, man. Congratulations on a very solid finish.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's Aaron Brown. Guys, back up to you, Caleb.
Yeah, and we'll go to Kevin, who is with our second place finisher, Logan Helton.
Logan, I think you would agree with me that this was a survival event and not necessarily a very clean one. Tell us about your night. It just seemed, you kept it in stage one. You managed to stay on the lead lap for pretty much the entire first set of 100 laps, and then through, luck and fortune and maybe just consistency, got it in second place there and pretty much left it there. Tell us about your race.
Well, first, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot more fun around this track than I thought I would. I just bought it before the race, like 15 minutes into practice. I bought the track and just ran my laps in practice to figure it out. And I think I could have been up there with Michael at the end there to maybe give him a challenge if I had put more practice in. But I think a second place with the limited time I had to work this out, I I'm happy with that. And yeah, it wasn't the cleanest race, but I got lucky. I avoided most of it. I got into a couple of fender benders, if you'd like to call it that, but it wasn't enough to absolutely destroy my car or give me suspension damage. So I was able to pretty much move on with it and just conserve my tires. I knew that if I burnt my tires off stage 1, I would have no chance for a top 3 in the second stage. And I didn't conserve them quite as much as Michael did, but I definitely did better than most of the top 10, I feel like. And that's just what got me in the position I was. And we came home in second place.
Yeah, tell us about that. We when we first saw Hawken pretty much lap the field, we thought, man, he's running away with this. And, we didn't really anticipate tire fall off to be that severe. Did you know from the jump that, obviously this is a 200-lap race and, we're going to be going green for the lion's share of it? Was that something that you pretty much started saving right from the get-go, or is that something you started realizing, well, maybe I should start doing it now as you saw other people do it?
Well, I definitely could tell from the beginning that Michael Guest was saving, because there's no way he wasn't in the lead by the time lap 50 came around. So he must have been saving, and so I did my best to. I wouldn't call it save, but I was doing my best to make sure I wasn't sliding any of my tires, and I know with this car, from what I've gained this season, I'm not 100% up to speed with this car yet, but from what I've understood with the car is it's a lot more heat based with the tire. Once the tire gets to a certain place, I feel like it doesn't fall off anymore, or until you get to like 10% tire or something. But I mean, I finished this race with a 95% right front and 95% right rear. So I did my best to keep the tires even, and my temperatures are pretty much even as well all across the way. So I feel like I did a good job to keep that in check, and I never overheated my tires at all, because I know that once any tire gets overheated, you're either not turning or you're either getting too much turn no matter what you do. So that was my main focus pretty much the entire race.
Well, Logan, I think you pretty much said it yourself. I think you did a pretty good job tonight, finishing in second, and we'll most likely see you next week. Got a doubleheader at Gateway and Daytona Road Course. We'll see you then, and we'll see you on the track. Well, I'm sure we're always somehow near each other in the races, so I'll see you on the track at some point.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to thank my family and friends for watching as well, and Nexus Esports for the help, and also the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. May is CF Awareness Month, and if you'd like to figure out how to help us out over there, go to just cff.org. That'd be very much appreciated. That was a slight plug, but I just
you did good. That's the best way to do it. That's the professional way to do it. We appreciate your time, Logan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
See, these guys are figuring it out. They're learning how to plug their stuff. If you guys don't know, Logan has CF, and it's a really important thing to him to get awareness on that. But Caleb, I think you're going to be interviewing our old winner and Michael Guest here in a few seconds.
Yeah, alongside Michael Guest right now in an absolutely dominating second stint. Just general thoughts from you, Michael, on how you came away with that one.
Yeah, it was a fun race. I always enjoy the races that don't have cautions or just get the long green flag runs in. But the first stage, I wasn't sure why the Brandon and the other couple guys went so hard. We didn't have any tire sets, so I knew that just of how iRacing is, you would have to just creep around the first stage. So that's what I tried to do and keep track position. Luckily, that worked out, and I was able to stay in the top 5. And some of those guys even wrecked before the end of the first stage. So I restarted right up there with Brandon on the second stage, and that definitely helped out a lot, because I don't know if I would have been able to get up there without restarting up there. Track position seemed pretty important, but yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, and that whole second stint, why you did have the lead, what was really the key to, maintaining that balance and staying out of trouble? Just, do you think it was, just kind of luck, or, was there a skill that you found to avoiding all the trouble that was going on around the track?
Well, I definitely got lucky. I was only involved in one accident at all, and there were quite a few roadblockers during the race, so I'm pretty happy that I was able to avoid everything. But I just got kind of lucky in being kind of by myself a lot. I wasn't really around other cars to get hit into the wreck or whatever. I could kind of stop when I needed to, so just having my own space, I guess, would be the biggest thing. there were definitely a lot of wrecks that got people that could have won taken out.
And absolutely, coming off that World 600K win last week at Charlotte, winning tonight in such a dominating fashion, then you go into that doubleheader next week. Is this how does this build your momentum going in, for the actual points races that we have coming up here at Gateway and Daytona Road Course?
Yeah, we'll see. I would definitely say I'm better at Charlotte and the other couple tracks we went to before that I was able to win at. So I'm happy that I was able to get a couple wins in now that we're entering this part of the season. I'm definitely not a road course fanatic, but we'll try our best at Gateway and see how we can come out there with some points.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your win. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Appreciate it.
And Kevin, Sean, a crazy all-star race, just full of drama, beef, chaos. So, Sean, what are your general thoughts, coming out of tonight?
I'd say drama, beef, and chaos is the common theme with this one. I mean, there was more so beef than anything else, that from at least what we saw. But I mean, it did provide an entertaining race for the most part. Did get kind of strung out, but I mean, it was typical short track racing with all these guys just beating and banging for position. And Kevin hit the nail right on the head with what Guest said. He said, I was kind of surprised. I wasn't sure why Brandon was going so hard in the first half, knowing that there was no tires. But Guest, I mean, probably one of the most aware drivers, on the service there. He's just so keen to what's going on around him all the time. He knew what he was going to do from the jump and executed it perfectly tonight, stayed away from the wrecks, and not really surprised. Michael Guest won, but nonetheless, it was a very entertaining race to watch, I would say.
Yeah, and I think Guest winning how he did just goes to show that you could be fast, you could have raw talent as a sim racer, but you got to have experience, and he has a lot of experience in this car. He knows that higher heat is so important, especially with these short tracks. You're spinning the tires off every single corner, and he knew what to do and what Hawkins was doing wrong, and it ended up working out for him. I'm sure if Brandon could rerun that race, and he's a very experienced sim racer in his own right. He's basically a Pro Series driver on the roadside, so he knows what he's doing. But I'm sure he would want those first 100 laps back. I'm sure he would love to maybe bring it in a little bit there for the first 100 and maybe save a little bit. But that's what experience gets you. He kind of one step ahead of the rest of the field, and Guest showed that he definitely belongs where he belongs. He's definitely in the right place in the Coke Series.
Absolutely. And after a wild night, congratulations to Michael Guest on his win at the FTF All-Star Race. For our producer, Zach Johnson, for Kevin and Sean, I'm Caleb Hoffman. We hope you have a great rest of your night.